Hello, pagan crafters. Welcome back to my little corner of magic. Today, we're crafting something spooky and soothing. A twisted old tree incense burner complete with a tiny graveyard. This backflow incense burner is cozy, it's witchy, it's a perfect piece for autumn nights. So grab your glue gun, some clay, light some incense, and let's make something enchanting together. Grabbing some random supplies all over my house. I'm grabbing some twigs for inspiration, but I'm going to be using some 22 and some 18 gauge wire. I believe this is galvanized wire. And I just got these at the dollar store, so don't get anything too extravagant. Just cheap because it's easy to manipulate and it's easy to work with and easy to cut with wire cutters. Don't use your craft wire cutters. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a gnarly, twisted, sweet old tree. Grabbing some pieces together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start overlapping, twisting it, doubling it up, make it go in any direction you want. I love the way I'm going to design this tree is the way I love to use to paint gnarly trees back in the day. I always did this one round twist and up, and I'm going to rock that in this tree too. So I think I'm going to start off with some roots here, a little base. I'm doubling up the wire and I'm using my needle nose pliers to help me manipulate the wire. It's just, the stuff is so easy to work with. Can be hard on the fingers if you do it for quite a long time, but it is easier definitely to pinch with some pliers if you have any. I think these will work pretty good with even craft pliers, but it's better to have some wire cutters, something a little bit more heavier so you don't wreck your craft pliers or wire cutters. Make it a 5-pointed star. Do that for my roots, and I'm going to go back to the 22 gauge and just help me secure it. Now hot gun is going to be used later in this with some hot glue, but this will be a little spider for now. He can hang out here with us. Now, some inspiration. I'm taking from this little piece of tiny driftwood I collected down by the river. And I'm going to do a really cool bend in this. I love drawing them this way. It doesn't look like much for now, but I see it. I see it. I see my branches. And they are going to be amazing. We're going to have some fun with this. Now I'm doubling up the wire because I'm trying to give it some base for all my hot glue to adhere onto and build up. And there is our little curly area. Now that I have that all wired together, I have some branches that I branched out. And when I did wind it around the main branches, I did near the base thicken it up a little bit, but no matter. Hot glue's my friend. Woo! And my little bumblebee on my little... This actually hot glue gun has been retired to the hot glue graveyard since this video has been made. So this is like its last tribute to this little glue gun. Lasted me a super long time. But you want to hit all sides and glue it all up. Now what I'm going to jump forward here is I was playing with some other ideas for a base for this, and then I found this in my little collection of goodies, of wood goodies, so I thought this would look cool. You can see to my left there I had some aquamarine little pebbles and stones that I was going to use, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this wood cookie looks way cooler. Now you see these little white things coming off the tree, and I'm manipulating a piece of clay in my hand right now. These are going to direct the backflow incense. I'm going to make my very first backflow incense burner. I have so many little incense pieces. I've actually, you can see where it's yellowed. I've had to experiment and see how it drops and flows. Now, see this little washer? Obviously, if I put hot incense onto polymer clay, it's not going to fare very well. It's going to burn it. So you can see where some of these are not, I don't have them baked yet, so they're not glued on yet. They got funny little teardrop shapes, melted angles, but it took a very long time to just fart around with the design. So it all depends on the direction and the flow of your tree. Just light some incense, let it fall, and start directing it and have some fun. So I have it kind of labeled all the way through 5. I don't want this ugly color. So we're going to rock this all black. I have a little red cauldron there right underneath there. I was playing with another project at the same time when I was painting these. I'm sorry, it's in the picture. I was thinking about putting a cauldron, but the one that I had was too big, so I wound up finding another one. So we're going to give everything a black wash, and we're going to give it a really good thick coat because we don't want to see any of the white of the glue sticking through. Look at that. It's so gnarly. I sound like a surfer there. Gnarly, dude. It's such a gnarly tree. That's the only word for it. It's going to be fun. I love this tree. He's going to hold a fun little spot in my living room. So I'm going to put a copious amount of hot glue down to hold it down onto place. Don't mind because I'm going to be adding, yes, my friends, some moss. What would a craft by Pagan Crafting be without moss? Because I love moss and mushrooms. I don't think I added much. You know what? I didn't need to add mushrooms in this project. I shouldn't be all like astonished. Not everything needs mushrooms, Cara. That's fine. So we're going to extend the roots now with some hot glue. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm zooming in. And these roots are going to extend down and around and clamp down onto the base of this wood cookie. Now that everything's all washed in black, we have our base down. I'm going to touch up some of the new roots that it looks like how I extended it off from the tree. So those are going to become black as well. I think I'm going to now just play with this a little bit, and then I'm going to hot glue these down because I may have mixed up my order. Even though I numbered them, I may have not put them back into place. This is what I do. I also like making lists. Oh, yes, I knew that was going to happen. But I also like making lists and forgetting my list at home when I go to the grocery store. That's super fun. So now that I had them all in order, I don't know which one's which. So experimenting, hot glue is my friend. Putting these little guys on. These were left over between some red and black roses that I had from some Halloween decorations. So I thought these may look kind of cool on the tips of the branches. I really wish I had more of them, but it'll do for what I have. See, I could also use those too, but I didn't feel like plastic. Just hot glue plastic. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I'm going to have these all over the place and just kind of hit the tips of all the little branches, and then I'll touch up the hot glue there too. I'll touch up with paint with the hot glue. We have her done. Now, loving how this just a little bit, it's like fall time, end of fall. We're going to go for some burgundy acrylic paint. I'm going to be doing some dry brushing. So using a dry brush and wiping off the excess paint. It'd probably be better not on the back of your hand like I did, but what's really good is a paper towel. Works perfectly too. And a beautiful coat. You may have seen recently when I did my little ghost diorama, I did the dry brushing with these royals and aquamarines mixed in with some grays on top of the tree. Did the same glue effect. I love using hot glue for effects and textures. Definitely a good time. So I really, 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 really wish I had numbered those, but we'll see how she goes. Now we're going to add in our moss around we're going to hide some of that hot glue that was holding all that in. And this here that I'm using is a very soft reindeer moss. Reindeer moss, I get it by the truckload, I swear. It's like one of my favorite mosses to use. It's not dry, doesn't get all over the place. I don't get bits all over the floor. I just get it all over my crafts. Woo! But I'm feeling this tree needs a little something else. I actually had this project on hold for a while until this spooky season hit me, and I'm like, let us add, I don't know, we need some little gravestones, some little, see what we can make here. I'm just using, this is like a florist foam, and if it gets wet, it'll expand and help nourish the plant. But in this case, it's really fun to use and really easy to carve. It's a little messy, but it's definitely super, super quick and easy to mold. You can do all kinds of scrapes and scratches. I've done drawings on them. They are so much fun to use. Just add some creaks and cracks and stuff in here. And I'm molding some of them down. I'm going to write some people's names on them, and some of them I'm just going to write RIP, rest in peace. So it doesn't need to be anything too fancy. Just some little guys. Now what we're going to use is some Mod Podge. It doesn't need to be high gloss. It can be matte, whichever, as long as it's Mod Podge. So what we're going to use is a sealant. And we're going to wait till this dries first. And we're going to use this because if we actually just painted the green florist foam stuff, whatever it's called here, if you just paint directly right on it, it actually absorbs so much of the paint that you have to do probably 2 to 3 coats. It's happened to me the first time. So if you rock in some glue, let it dry overnight, and then you can paint it and you can still bring in the textures that you'd like. I'm going to put it on some wax paper. I'm going to have this a little straighter so it stands up, and we're ready to go in the morning. Still a little bit more to go on a couple of them but doesn't matter about the bottom. We're going to hot glue that down to the base. So starting again, we're going to do a black base. I'm going to grab a bigger brush, get some faster area covered. And after the black is dry, we're going to do some dry brushing on this stuff. And this stuff is very easy to dry brush. We've got our black base here now, and I'm going to bring in some darker grays first. I'm just dabbing it on my paper towel that's hidden there. Using just the side of the brush. I'm quite not sure what those markings are, how that turned out when I was roughing it up, but we got something going on. And it just gives it an aged look, a stone finish. And our last one is all complete. I'm pretty happy with these little guys. That didn't take very long at all. Now we're gonna add some names, some dates. We'll add some RIPs on here. I was just coming up with names at the top of my head so that I didn't, no rhyme or reason. But we're gonna have Seth. Here lies Seth. From 1643 to 1670. Not very old. Little rip here. Little rip there. 1783 to 1817. And that's done by Jane. I have this little stone crystal. And what I did is I put a little washer in that little stone crystal cauldron. And that way, when I put the incense in, it gives it some room for it to breathe. And that way, some of the incense smoke will hopefully bubble out over the cauldron. Now, before I knew I was going to be putting in the gravestones, I had all the moss down. So I kind of came up with that idea later, or else I probably would have left some space. But a little bit of wiggling, a little bit of maneuvering, and I got them in the moss there, and I should be able to fit them all in. I'm going to give this one more of an angle. I love that. So it gives it more of an older look. And this little guy needs a home. I'm loving this. Oh, look at that. That's what it needed. The tree was lonely. It needed to share its essence. And look, I got these little resin skull guys. I've used them on quite a few projects. And this is all that I have left. About time for me to buy some new little resin skulls. They are going to find their home all the way through this graveyard of awesomeness. I bet this tree's pretty happy. When I was visiting down in New York, some family, I went to one of our family graveyards and I collected some maple leaves and some branches from this tree because all the graveyards around this tree was about, oh, I think it was early 1800s, around that area for all my ancestors that had been there. So I'd saved the tree leaves because I told my daughter, I'm like, this tree has nurtured, and this tree has been nurtured by the dead. Ha! So I thought that was really cool. So I definitely had to keep some leaves from that tree because a part of that tree was from my ancestors. So that was a very unique thing to have. Well, as this little incense smoke curls and drifts like spirits through the graveyard, our spooky little creation is complete. Crafting pieces like this reminds me that beauty and mystery often share the same shadow. So light your incense, dim your lights, and let the season's magic breathe through your space. Thank you for spending a little spooky moment with me. If you enjoy it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more pagan crafting magic. Until next time, may your crafts be enchanted, may your spirits kind, and your night filled with wonder.